Overrated backpacking gear, according to who, you might ask? Well, obviously, according to this idiot right here. This is just my opinion, okay? So if you disagree, which surely many of you are going to, that's okay. All gear opinions are welcome on this channel, except for if you like the last one on this list. It's all in good fun, folks. The first overrated piece of backpacking gear, it's pack covers. Dude, you know those things you throw on the back of your backpack for when it's raining and you're like, oh, I don't want to get my gear wet, obviously, because you don't want wet gear. Nothing wet is good. Well, actually, those things just, they're not it. They're overrated, and they're overrated because I feel, and I've said this before, they're the first thing new backpackers, beginner backpackers think of when they go to do something to keep their gear dry. They're like, oh, they make these covers specifically for your backpack, so that's gotta be it, dude. That's gotta be. And I'm here to tell you, in my humble opinion, some would say probably the most humble opinion of all time, pack covers, they're overrated, man. And the reason is, as I've said in previous videos, every pack cover ever has a giant hole in it. And that hole is the hole that, you know, it's like you put it on your backpack, but it only covers half your backpack, so it doesn't work. It's gonna leak. It will keep things a little bit drier, but it's just not as good. You'd be much better off using a pack liner, like a Nylofoam or a trash compactor bag inside of your backpack. Line your backpack with that. Keep all of your essential gear items that cannot get wet inside that liner, dude. Pack covers, they're just not it, man. They're just not it. This next overrated piece of backpacking gear, I'm definitely gonna have some people disagreeing with, but that's okay. And by the way, what else is okay, you may say? I will tell you, damn it, I couldn't think of the last rhyme. Subscribing to the channel is okay, guys. I'm getting real close to 50,000 subscribers. That's my goal. I've been working towards it for a long time. So if you are watching this video and you haven't subscribed yet, dude, you gotta hit that. This next this overrated piece of gear, and this is definitely my opinion. Like, I feel like most people disagree with this. GPS watches when you're backpacking. I do not care for GPS watches. Now, to be fair, I am not a watch guy. I hate watches. I never wear watches ever. I don't even own a watch. I've never owned a watch. That's probably not true. I could probably find a picture of myself wearing a watch somewhere. I see backpackers wearing these and like, I just don't get it. I see how it would be cool to track your hike. Like, you get the statistics on exactly how far you went. I even get that, like, having a quick accessible thing to like look at a map or pace yourself, you can see like exactly how far you've gone in the last hour or whatever. I get that, but I don't know, the downsides just don't seem to outweigh the positives in my opinion. The first downside being, if you're on a extended backpacking trip for more than, you know, a couple days, that's one more thing that you have to charge. So you're gonna have to carry extra cables for it. I know a lot of these watches have like special chargers that can only work, or I don't actually know that, but I'm pretty sure. Is that a thing? But you have to carry more stuff, and then when you're in town, if you're through hiking, you have to be like spending extra time to make sure your watch is charged, and then if that thing isn't charged, if you don't get to charge it fully, like, what's the point of even having it? The other big downside is that these days, we got GPSs right on our cell phones. So if you have a flip phone that doesn't have a GPS, then fine, carry your watch, but like, is the convenience of doing this instead of just pulling out your phone and doing this, like, is that really, I don't know, it just doesn't seem worth it. The next overrated piece of gear, and this is one I've also talked about on multiple occasions in multiple videos, but this is backpacks that have a brain on top. Now, I don't have a brain, and neither do my backpacks, because that is pointless. Well, maybe not. Yeah, it's pointless. Back in the day, you know, back when I was just a wee lad, and you were probably a wee lad that was roughly 5 to 10 years older than me based on my channel demographics. In those times, most good backpacks had brains. In fact, actually back then it was probably more external frame backpacks. So if your backpack had a brain, dude, you were the one with the brain. But nowadays, there's just no need. There's obviously all the ultralight backpacks that are basically just a big, you know, sack with a hip belt and shoulder straps on it. But there's even framed backpacks that are made for carrying more weight than just a typical ultralight setup that still don't have a brain. And I get that it's nice and convenient to have a little brain up there to store your stuff in and your trinkets and your meth and all that stuff. But like, all that extra fabric, it adds up. And it's just not necessary. So you can save a lot of weight, have a lot more comfortable of a setup, have a more comfortable backpack, not to mention one that looks freaking slick, dude, like this thing right here. You clearly found a YouTuber that doesn't have a brain, so you might as well do the same thing with your backpack. This next one is solar chargers, dude. Solar chargers. People on YouTube just absolutely rip on solar chargers all the time, so like probably isn't anything new here, but it's true, man. I had to throw it in. Solar chargers are super overrated when it comes to backpacking. Now, to be fair, because I'm a fair guy, I have not done much research on solar chargers in recent times. The last time I really looked into them was probably like 4 years ago, and I came to the conclusion that it ain't worth it. But maybe there's a new one out there nowadays. I still haven't really seen very many people with them on trail, so I feel like I would have seen it, but you know, I don't know everything. In fact, I don't know anything, and so there could be a good chance that there's a better solar charger that might actually be worth carrying nowadays, but I'm not aware of it, and I still think, as a general rule, solar chargers are just overrated. And let me explain why. First of all, it's going to greatly depend on the trail that you're hiking. So if you're out on the PCT, you know that trail? I tried to hike that, didn't go well. The PCT. But you know, if you're out on a trail that's in the desert or just a trail that has a lot of exposure where you can get a lot of sunlight, then maybe it would make more sense. But if you're hiking on the Appalachian Trail, the Long Trail, just any trail that has a lot of tree cover on the East Coast, for instance, or you know, other places, the Buckeye Trail in Ohio, that's an absolutely gorgeous trail I recommend to everybody. If you're on one of those trails, you're just not gonna be getting that much sunlight. And so you're basically carrying a solar panel that is gonna be useless a lot of the time, and it's just not worth it. I also feel like, I don't know, like what are you gonna, you'd have to strap it on the outside of your backpack, and like, I guess that's doable, but it just seems inconvenient. I don't think they're that reliable. Again, maybe there's a better one now, but I get why people think they're a good idea, because you're like, oh, I can just recharge all my stuff. I don't have to worry about, you know, having electricity. Like that's kind of important to recharge, but you don't see that many experienced hikers using them. Maybe in the future they get better, but I don't know. I just think they're
overrated, dude.
And this next overrated piece of backpacking gear, and this one's gonna surprise a lot of you, especially those who watch my channel on the regular. One more time, subscribe. Haha, I'm gonna make you wait. Please, that's probably not a good sell. Please subscribe. Okay, so this next one, overrated piece of gear, is camp chairs.
Camp chairs. Camp chairs.
And this is where people start ripping on me in the comments. Oh, Kyle, when you're 50, like you'll be carrying a chair. Listen. I get it. I get why they're comfortable. I really do. I really do. But this is my video, this is my opinion. I think they're overrated, and let me explain why. So many people think I just hate hikers who carry camp chairs, and that's not true. All gear opinions are welcome on this channel, except for if you like the last one on this list. It's just a disagreement. It's just a difference in values, and we can value different things, and we can still get along, and you guys can still subscribe to the channel. Obviously, the camp chair thing on this channel it's a joke. I don't actually care if people carry camp chairs, but I don't want to ever carry one, honestly. And this is simply because when I'm backpacking, my primary focus is to be on the trail, to be hiking. And so generally speaking, it goes hiking first, camping second. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a nice campsite, and every now and then you find a nice campsite that has like some sort of really comfortable seats. And do I take advantage of that? Yes, I absolutely do, but I just can't bring myself to actually carry that seat with me when I'm hiking, because while camp chairs are fairly light, honestly, for like what it is, they're still not that light. And I'm that idiot that's cutting the handle off of my toothbrush in order to save weight. So if I'm doing that, how the could I justify carrying a goddamn camp chair, dude? I can't. It just comes down to preference. It just comes down to the style of hiking that you're doing. And my style is to push myself and to get after it. I'm not doing too many days where I get to camp like super early and then have a bunch of time to sit around and then wish that I had a camp chair. But that's just me, dude. That's just me. So you can go in the comments and you can read all the people ripping on me because they think when I get older I might get a camp chair. Maybe I will. No, I won't. But you should check out the Patreon if you like these videos, especially if you watch all the way to the end like you're doing right now. Please check out patreon.com/KyleHatesHiking. You'll get some bonus content. You'll get a more direct line to access me and ask me questions. And most importantly, you'll just be supporting the channel, supporting the dream. That is the best way to support this content. And so thank you so much to everybody who's already on there. I have about 90 of you right now. 90! I appreciate all of you so much. Camp chairs, dude. It's not the move. I'm sorry. Don't hate me.